You laugh, Sam.
Yeah, yeah. Give me a moment. Are we live?
You already laugh. The intro didn't kick in.
Yeah.
You're on, Sam.
Can you hear me? Yeah. What's good, guys? We are back at the London Bell. I am Sam, the student trader, joined with Evan, the rebel trader. We'll be looking at the markets today and decide whether we should go long, short, or just stay out in this volatile movement. Yesterday, I took two fine trades. Evan was unfortunate enough to catch a loss. Today we are looking for better days. Today is a Friday, so today might just be a bit more slower than the other weekdays. Let's see how it goes.
In the end, Sam, yesterday I ended up taking two losses.
Two. Okay. Yesterday evening in the New York session, I got two winners on NAS. Fortunately, these were the trades. Like I told yesterday also, NAS and other indices have the knack of running even once you catch the trend, especially in the markets where they are supposed to be traded, like NAS in the New York session. This could have potentially been an 8-hour trade, which means that you could have passed your whole phase one on a single trade. NAS and other indices do have the capacity for giving incredible risk to reward ratios. So I would suggest to leave out some runners like Evan does. But unfortunately, I am not the person who leaves some runners. So I just cashed out at a 3.17 R on this trade, which was beautiful. And then this one, I suffered heavy drawdown and just survived by the slightest of margins. In fact, I would think that many of the prop firms would have counted this as a loss since the spread also would have taken in. But low spread firms like the fivers, there might be still hope. This was a 1 to 2, and it was a very long trade compared to other. Hmm. So getting back to the to the London session that we'll trade right now, gold seems to not move so much in the London session, just like yesterday. Yesterday, the gold was completely in consolidation the whole of London session, and the back end of the London session and the opening of the New York, it started to trend upwards. Today also, I think it is going to be the same. We are going to be stuck in a sort of a range. I am thinking the range would be somewhat from here to here. I think this is the range that will be stuck on gold as far as London session is concerned. So I will be taking trades at the bottom and the top of the range and trying to make some profit like yesterday. Apart from NAS and gold. If we look at the DAX on the higher time frame, there is still consolidation on the higher time frame, but on the lower time frames, I can see that there has been some upward movement, and I am presuming that from this fair value gap and this order block, we might as well start going down and reacting again at this support level. Euro USD, typically not my cup of tea, but I am still thinking that we are going to uh, have a bearish bias. Yes, maybe it might just as well react from the supply zones below, the demand zones below. But as of now, at least for the next few hours, I am having a bearish bias on Euro USD. Similarly, GU is also similar because they both are highly correlated. So I am also having a bearish bias on GU. UJ is a oppositely correlated pair. So here we are having a bullish bias. Though the movement in UJ is quite slow compared to the typical moves that UJ gives. Right, that is my analysis of gold and other pairs. I primarily trade gold, so I'll be taking trades on gold today also on the lower time frames, maybe the 1 minute. Evan, how about you? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking you've just done a blinding job of the market analysis. There's nothing left for me to do, so I'll just sit here and watch you. No, not really. First of all, we'll see who's in chat. Paul is in chat. Good morning. How's
Good
you
morning,
going this
Willie.
morning? I'm looking for some. Where did I just go? My little, my little cam just passed out. Oh, poor little devil. So I'm looking for some more banter off Pooler this morning. Will's watching. I know where Will's watching from. I wish I was there with him. But he's saying, "Good morning, guys. How are
Good
you
morning,
doing?"
Will.
Good morning to Will,
All fine.
and definitely enjoy where you are today, mate. So on my chart, I kind of got caught out this morning because I was trading. Let me just bring my bigger screen up. So I was trading my A plus setups, which was these levels marked out, which the levels are still marked out from yesterday. But that's all I did this morning was mark these levels out because I decided to start reprogramming a bot that I've been working on. Now the bot that I'm working on has got no visuals, so the trades that it's taking, it's just like they're not random. I'm in profit at the minute. It took 3 trades almost simultaneously because I told it to use a zero point 0.3 lot size and it split it up into 3 stakes. Obviously, the stake size, not lot size. I'm still used to trading my prop account, so I'm calling it lot size when it's not. This is spread betting that I'm doing, so it's stake size. There is a slight difference, but it normally works out roughly around about the same. So one lot is £1 a pip. If you can get one stake at £1 a pip, that'd obviously level that out. So yeah, no, there's absolutely nothing to show on this because it's just like a ghost bot at the minute. I've got no indicators lit up. I've got no indication that the bot's even working apart from when it takes a trade. So I got kind of caught out this morning, but it has took, like I said, one trade, but split into 3. And apart from the top one, we was in profit. So all I have to do now is just wait to see if this one plays out.
All right. Talking about trades playing out, I just entered a long on gold. The logic of this trade is quite similar. Like I said, we are most likely going to be range in the London session. So this is the bottom of the range. I am clearly able to see some good rejection from here. So I entered along. The stop loss is just below the lows, and hopefully the profit target is over here. That is the top of the range. If I see any rejection at this area, then I'll most likely exit the trade there. But apart from that, I am looking for a, a good 1 to 2 risk reward. Right.
Let's hope you get it like you did yesterday. I saw the drawdown on the
Yes.
one that you mentioned that you did in New York session, and
Yeah, that was also good.
you kind of put your hand up to say that you might have got tapped out on that one because of spread.
Yeah, yeah. I think the spreads would have taken me out over here. Probably, I think this would have ended up in a loss. But given that this was a screamer of a trade, like one, two, three in such a short period of time with minimal drawdown, I think I would have been fine for the day. Like Nas man just has the ability to give such clean moves that sometimes.
Yeah, no, that was a great trade that you did yesterday. There's hardly any
Yeah.
drawdown on that one.
And here also, I have noticed that if you see on the higher time frames, I was keeping an eye on them. There was this order block that I was looking for, where it got some rejection. In fact, it got rejection thrice. But I was stubborn enough, thinking that we'll be break past this level, that I wanted to stay in this trade. But logically speaking, it took quite a lot of time for it to break out of this order block. It took almost 8 hours for it to reach my take profit levels. So I think it would have been smart for me to exit at a 1 to 1 over here, given that it was rejecting from a order block. But yeah, things to learn from and improve on.
I've not talked you into taking partials yet then.
Uh, Partials is not my style. I think if I see a trade and if I see a pullback, then maybe I'll add to it. But I don't think I'll ever take partials. See, if you see at this trade, it would have been beautiful if I just see after my exit over here, there is a beautiful possibility for me to add to this trade over here or over here. It would have been great if I added to the trade, but I am learning myself there. I want to be a trader. I want to be a trader in future who adds to his winning positions. That is what I want to be. I do not want to take partials on my winning positions. I want to double down on them. That is what I want to be. That is the reason partials are something that I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You like pyramiding on your winning trades.
Yes.
No, you got to stick to you got to stick to your own system. If your system doesn't include partials or anything like that, then obviously you've got to stick to. I know the drawdown and taking partials with the
Yes.
system that you're doing, um, but I'd rather get something out of a trade myself. That me personally, not affecting anything that you're doing trading wise, but me personally, I'd rather take something out of it before it came back. But again, like you said, I'm a slight bit like you. I will sort of add to my winners, even though it's probably took a partial. I'll class that as a second open trade. I'll never class it as part of that trade. I'll always class it as a second trade. And my TP, my stop loss, and the partials again will start again from me adding from the first one. But it's the runner that will carry on. So
Understand.
that I am sort of a bit like you on that, and I will actually add to me runners. That if the account will allow it, that was it. But yeah, I'll still take TPs from that one, and then I'll have a second runner. And then if I can do it a third time or even a fourth time, if I'm lucky, then obviously I'll do it like that. And I'll always be taking some out of the market, and I'll always be leaving a runner. And it's the runners that just get took out by trailing stop loss. And I
Yes.
just class that as
I
a bonus.
On the topic of runners, I am also thinking to leave something out on my trades on indices, because if you have noticed that initial trade that I took on mass, if I have left a runner, maybe a small portion of it also, I think I would have made so much more from that runner, because like I am telling again and again, indices have the power to catch on to a trend and go to heights that you would not have usually taken on a R to R basis. They have the potential for you to keep an open take profit. So leaving a runner on something like my indices trades are something that I will try to incorporate myself.
Yeah, yeah. What you could actually do is it all depends on your risk. But actually, if without adjusting your risk, so I'm not even going to try and influence you into adjusting your risk. But if you added that little bit extra to the risk, or you actually took your TP earlier at a lower amount, So you were still
Right.
taking, so psychologically you were still taking your TP, but you're taking it at a lower amount, and you're also leaving, I don't know, zero point 0.1 or something like that as a runner.
Right, right. zero point 0.1 would. But the issue is, since I particularly trade accounts of lower size, zero point 0.1 or any size on indices would be quite massive for the account size. So I think I have to bump up my account size to maybe a 25K for me to consistently leave runners, because then it makes sense on a 5K or a 10K. I don't think it would be a huge advantage in terms of just the dollar amount, but when the account size is higher, leaving runners like that in terms of dollar amounts would be huge.
I see what you're saying there. Let's just jump back into chat. I've seen some more people coming in. Sigma Effects, so Scott's in. I thought you'd be on your way, on your holiday, mate, with your feet up. But good morning to you
Hello,
anyway.
Sigma Effects. Good morning.
Great streaming with you yesterday, and looking forward to seeing you again live here on the Apex Brotherhood. Who else? Will's listening to his favourite blokes. Good stuff. Good stuff. And Pooley's asking a question. I guess this is aimed at me. Who do I spread bet with? IG. I spread bet with everyone that I'm with. I do not do CFD trading. So I am with Pepperstone is what you're seeing my broker at now. So I spread bet with Pepperstone. I am spread betting with IG. I know you know that I'm with IG. So yeah, I spread bet with IG, and I've just opened an account up with with Sigma FX to start the 100 to 1,000 challenge again, but on a fresh account, which I don't mind doing. We're both at the same place, so we'll reveal that later on. But the account that I have actually just opened up there with Scott is again spread betting. So every account that I will open that's going to be my personal, that isn't a prop firm account, will always be spread betting. I'll never trade CFDs personally on my personal
Okay.
account. If I've got a prop firm account, I don't have a choice. But personally, I'll never trade CFDs. I'll always be a spread better. And I see MGN's in. Good morning, MGN. How's you this morning?
Yeah. Morning, NGN. Unbiased Trader also says morning. Morning, Unbiased Trader. And yes, guys, please remember that you can join the Discord using the link in the description and the link in the chat. We are active there. Today is going to be a poker night as well. Ella, we share our trades, we share our psychology, we share tips and tricks for you to start getting better at trading. We are the community. We think about overall well-being of a trader. We also give you. We also have even Will's brother, who is a personal coach who gets your fitness sorted, and most importantly, the news bot, which gives you notifications 10 minutes before high and medium impact news so that you never get caught in the crossfire of Biden, Trump, and whoever that is talking about. Unbiased Trader says, I have BTC 3R, DAX 5R, and NQ 7.5R. Just started GJ 5R and BTD 12 months. Damn, those risk to rewards are massive. But risk to rewards is just one side of the coin. The win rate is the other part of the coin. You can have a massive risk to reward, but you should also have a healthy win rate for you to sustain that risk to reward. I personally do not think that anything above a 3R is very comfortable in prop firm space, because as risk to reward and win rate are quite oppositely correlated. Having a higher risk reward might be profitable, but might just not be that healthy, especially in a prop firm environment where there is a hard limit of 5% drawdown and a 10% drawdown overall. So having a higher win rate might actually help, especially in prop firm space, because also the psychology of you passing the accounts and the psychology that you are not under heavy drawdown and waiting for the next win is something to be considered. Not that a high RR cannot be a good system. It obviously can be, but it might just be very volatile for the problem space. But for personal accounts, something a high RR with a coupled with good psychology is beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. When you're doing prop firms and you've got the conditions like that, I mean, it's not just prop firm; it's your own personal account as well. When you've got you should have conditions like that based on your own account too. And risk management is definitely a must. So you get your risk management sorted, and hopefully you could actually split your risk on your prop firm, so you've got more chances of a losing streak and still surviving.
Right.
Because that's what I do. That's what I've
Yeah.
kind of
On
doing
problem.
with me £100 account, or at least I will be when I restart it with Scott. I know that he's not totally sticking to the rules, and he bent them a little bit, and he started using a higher rate of risk than I was, let's say, prepared to do with a small account. But he sort of pushed me to the limit where I'm like, yeah, sod this, I'm going to join in. So I've pushed my risk up now on my £100 account, and I've also got a 3 day head start. So I've got a 3 day head
Right.
start on him because he won't be trading until Wednesday, hopefully. I gather that
Oh,
from what he was saying. No, he's on holiday, so he's going to be chilling. He's going to be chilling with his family. But that's going to be the overlap for 3 days. So coming Monday, it won't be this account that you're seeing on screen. It will be my newly funded £100 account,
okay.
and I'll be starting the challenge 3 days early. So let's see what a 3 day head
Damn.
start does for me. Probably not.
Yes, and given your full margin history, I think risking a bit higher should not hurt you as much.
Yeah, I won't be going full margin on this account. I I do go. I have on oil, as you know, plenty of times. I've gone full margin in my main account, but they have been some absolute blinding trades. I would almost, I would almost nearly have said they were guaranteed, but nothing's guaranteed. But I would never have gone full margin in my main account if I'd have thought that this ain't going anywhere. But yeah,
True.
yeah, I definitely wouldn't advise going full margin. Do not trade how I trade. Um, yeah, I definitely don't trade how I trade. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Do as I say, not as I do.
not on my real account anyway. It's not that I'm reckless. It's just that I know myself when I actually get into a trade. I know my own risk, um,
True.
and I've never
I think for a trader, knowing when to risk big is also a very good skill, because if you know this trade is perfect for me to risk big, and you have that risk appetite to risk to go full margin, I don't see why. I don't see why, because if you are in the mindset where you know that this is a good trade, yeah, there is always a probability that it might lose, but there is also the higher probability when you are betting on the higher probability that this will be on the right side more often than not. And you have seen this trade multiple times. It might as just well be to get that big trade in. many institutional players, many traders or investors that we know, they have some at some point in their life took a big trade, took a big bet. So it is not uh, wrong for traders like you and me to go big on a particular trade. There's nothing wrong in it. Yes, risk management is key, and you should manage your risk over a period of trades. But you can have that occasional trade where you're risking big. For example, I am a big proponent of risking your profits. If I am in a profit of say 3% on my account, then I would be risking 1 point. Then I would increase my risk to 1.5 or 2%. But for as long as I have that 3% buffer, as long as I have that 3% extra from the initial 10% drawdown, I would not be scared to lose that 3%. I am fine losing that 3%. But if I were to win higher on a 1.5 risk when I'm risking 1.5% or when I'm risking the 3%, that gives me such a head start, such it gives me so much more profit that I feel it is worth it.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Sam, because I didn't want to just say that I go full margin and leave it at that. It's not that I go full margin and leave it at that. I offset my risk.
Yes.
I offset my risk with my stop loss. So even though I have gone full margin in the account, I've offset the account via the stop loss. So I have actually had a tighter stop loss. And within, I think it's a couple of hours, I've had a few margin calls. And then once the trade actually starts playing out in my favour, obviously, uh, it starts building up the margin. So I no longer get the margin. I no longer get the margin call. But I'm trying to stop doing that now until I actually find those sort of sets, those sorts of setups, and they're very rare. I've only ever done it maybe about 5 times, something like that. That they are very rare that I'll actually go full margin in my main account, um, because purely because of the risk.
Yes,
And
understandable.
definitely not going to do it on a small one because it will disappear fast. So I'm going to stick to a limit. I'm going to program a bot to a limit, or I'm going to be trading manually because I think where we are now on our 100 to a K challenge, I don't think I'll be able to trade a bot on that account. So I'll be manually trading. So from Monday, I'll probably be manually trading um, one of my setups. So
Uh,
let's see how that compares to my other setups, which are all programmed within a bot. So I've just got to flip a coin now and decide which strategy I'm actually going to be comfortable with manually trading. So as soon as I decide that over the weekend, that's the one I'm going to stick to. The lot size is probably I'm going to stick to that all the time too. But they are going to be slightly oversized from what I originally was going to do.
right.
And we've got loads in the chat. I don't know who.
Police stays. Yeah, Puli was telling that I think on the fivers you can take 0.01 on NAS, whereas on IC market accounts the minimum is zero point 0.1. Yes, Puli. Yeah. I am actually dabbling, uh, thinking a lot whether I should try futures or whether I should stick to CFDs. That is the reason I have delayed my buying a prop firm challenge yet, because I am thinking that futures really could help me get to that initial payout quickly, get my first payout in. But it is significantly difficult compared to a CFD challenge. So I am currently in a dilemma whether I should go for CFD or futures. That is the reason I have not purchased a Rotham challenge yet. And also I'm quite low on confidence recently, so I have delayed it for some time until I can at least gain back confidence in my setups. because buying an account and not having confidence and taking random trades is also not that great. It's just throwing money at the market at that point of time. Oh, Puli, I think Puli has a message for you. I'm not sure what it is.
No,
Okay, then good to know the different options.
no, this is about spread betting. This is about the
Okay,
spread betting and CFD betting. So it's like it's saying, okay, Evan, it's good to know the difference, the different options. So it is, but I like spread betting. It's exactly the same as CFD, but you know the reason why I'm a spread better, not a CFD trader.
okay. MGN. Quite busy. I am a man with not enough hands, spinning too many plates while herding cats and chasing squirrels. Oh, MGN, people with ADHD never have enough hands and never have enough time. I can feel you completely. Yeah, police is laughing to that, I think.
Hang on,
Yeah,
just,
sure.
just checking on. I can't see that small little screen, so I'm just checking on my trade. I can see yours is playing out quite well.
Right. Let's open your screen. Yep, you're on.
Still in profit, still only in pence, but still profit though. All the trades that it opened are still going the right way, I suppose. I just wish I'd added the visuals to it before while I was tinkering with it, and then you'd be able to see it a lot. You'd be able to understand it a bit better. There's no point in just sort of seeing dead trades just playing out. So I'll just pretend that I opened these manually just like you did, and this is what it's doing playing out. So let's just pretend that I opened all these manually. But this is
Fine.
the small account. This it still is the 100 to 1,000 account. I'll still keep it. I'll still trade it. Just exactly the same way as I will be the new account. But at least on the new account, I won't have any other stats mixed in to what I've got in these. So it'll be purely um, a fresh account with no stats whatsoever, and then I start off on Monday, and then however that goes, then that's how it goes. Then that's the stats. So we'll see what my manual trading's like starting from Monday.
All right. Where did we go? Yeah. Unbiased trader was telling. Uh, Very true. Inverse relation between RR and win rate. My lowest win rate for Bitcoin 30%, DAX 25, and NQ 20. GJ has 30%, but it's over 12-month data, so need to be careful. I think 12-month data is great unbiased trader. And yes, those win rates are something that I personally could not have traded a system with because I would have spiraled down into waiting for the next win and I would have taken some random trades in between. I think that's the reason I prefer like a smaller win rate but a higher, sorry, a smaller RR but a higher win rate system. The way I manage my annualized portfolio drawdown is max 10%, but actual will be 6% based on historical trades given my 65% buffer. Oh, that's great. That is amazing actually. That is exceptional performance. Top priority has always been risk management, I guess given my past experience. Yes. Futures is good to get past fast. I got funded last month with Apex and TradeFi, trying to get funded with TopStep. Yes, exactly why I was looking into futures because I personally have a gripe with evaluation stage. I just want to get done with it. I want to get to the funded stage as quickly as possible, and that has been to the detriment of my trading and how I take my trades. That is the reason I have been thinking of taking a futures account. But the buffer that you have to maintain on a future account is it kind of makes it equal to a phase two, but given that the drawdown keeps increasing, like it's a trailing drawdown, that is also something that I'm not sure how comfortably I can deal with. That is the reason I'm in the dilemma of whether I should take a futures or uh, just continue with CFDs, given that I also like to risk my profits. The one problem I find with futures is fixed contract size. Sorry, which can mess your risk management. Yeah, yeah, but I think I would trade at the minimum contract size that they give me. But given how you have to how much is your stop loss at? Yeah, that has the potential of messing up with your risk management. But I usually have a fixed SL, which is either 1,000 pips or a 500 pips on gold. That would be $5 or $10. Yes, yeah, that would be $5 or $10. So I should be fine with that, I think.
I don't really trade futures, but you can trade minis though, can't you? On futures,
Yeah, I
you
can
get.
see. Minis and micros, yes.
What's the difference between the difference between the sizes? Let me just pick my headphones
I
up.
think in a mini, every point is 10 times risk, 10 times more than a micro contract.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
not sure of how much exactly is the risk, but it is 10 times the micros. Yeah, I use micros 1/10 the size. Yes.
The
And
the
one
65%
minute, 1 minute.
buffer that unbiased trader was on about, was that is how are you trading that unbiased? Is that with your bot or your indicator that you were showing us? Is that via that trading, or is it just manual trading via a different system? Is the question that I've got to unbiased trader, because that's
Uh,
sort of system what it was showing up is telling us
you-
about looked quite impressive, doing quite well. Is doing quite well with that. So I was just
while
wondering.
we wait for unbiased trader to answer that, uh, right now in this trade, we are rejecting of this level right here. Error, which is a 3 minute order block. This one is a 3 minute order block, and this is the 1 minute support that I have drawn. If we were to break the support, and if we were to reject of this level again, I would consider getting out on this trade, because the momentum does not seem to be on one side right now. It is in a small indecision area. That is the reason I'm carefully monitoring this trade. I do not want to open my day with a loss, so I would much rather exit with a small profit than going to a sell. And it is okay if I exit and the trade goes to TP. For me, protecting the capital is something important. I think I have started thinking from the space of protecting the capital instead of thinking of the profits that I could have made in hindsight.
No, for sure. Protecting your account is definitely another number one thing that you've got to do. I was just thinking. I was just looking at chat. Micros are 1/10 of the size. What of a mini? Is that
Yes,
what
micros are 1/10 of the size of a mini.
other? Right.
So, like Puri was telling, if on a mini you're risking $20 per point, on a micro you would be risking $2 per point. That is how it works.
Right. Got you. Then there's not wrong with micros. Then really is the
Minis, minis are much more. They have they have the perfect capacity to end your account on a single trade. And to think of it, trading is such a game where you constantly have to be on top of the game. Trading is that one profession where you constantly have to be on the top of your game, because if you take one bad trade and you refuse to close that trade, it could wipe out all the profit that you made ever in the whole career, in your whole trading career. That is why having a stop loss is so important. That is why realizing that you always have to be in the perfect mindset to trade properly is so important, because one bad trade or a series of bad trades can end your whole career as a trader, that however long it could have been. You could have been a successful trader for 50 years. But if you are not on top of your game, if you're not having good risk management, if your psychology is just fucked up for one single day, it would have, it could destroy the whole career that you have built up until that moment.
No, absolutely. I've done it myself. I've done it myself. I've had a week's worth of profit, and then let's say on a Friday, I've gone in and placed a stupid trade, and then it's just took the profit for the week straight off me. And then I'm sat there going, well, I took a week to get all that. And it's just gone in one trade. But yeah, no, I have to sympathise with that because I've done it. So I've done it myself. But you learn, and obviously that's all part of risk management. So that was right at the beginning as well. I don't do that now anyway. I try and protect my capital. Hang on, there's my phone. Turn that off. So yeah, no, I try and protect my capital. This is why I moved to break even, or just over break even, and I started taking partials. Someone wants me this morning.
Mhm.
I know that
Or,
is,
yes.
but yeah,
And I close my position. Oh, give me a moment. I'll wrap up updating my position. I've closed my position over here because I see that we have broken this level, and I'm not sure whether we'll continue higher, or I am thinking that we might as well go lower, and I do not want to see some drawdown at this moment of time. So I have closed my position with a slight profit of $5, and that is all right. Yeah, you continue.
profit's profit, profit's
It is
profit.
perfect.
But what you've just done there is basically what I've sort of said about moving your stop loss. So why didn't you? Why when the price was up there, didn't you move your stop loss to that position, and then your stop loss would have just took it out? Then you would have protected your account.
It would have, but I would have done it if I were not monitoring my trade. What my mind process, what to process I was thinking is that since I am monitoring the trade, I have the luxury to look at the momentum of the candles, look at the size of the candles.
That's
So
true.
if I Yeah, so based on that, I could have decided whether it is just a momentary pullback, or whether it's really whether there is some actual momentum that is pushing it down. So if you look at this one leg, then though there is a single candle which is an engulfing candle which engulfs this bearish bar. After that, you can see that there has been quite significant. There has been only one single bullish bar, which also is very small compared to the rest. And this one has engulfed it, and this one it was a continuation with very small wick to the upside. So here I am able to tell that the momentum has shifted towards a bearish bars. So there is a slight trend on a 1 minute. You can't really tell it as a trend, but I feel there has been a shift towards the bearish side, and I might as well be wrong. I might as well be wrong, but currently, I think this would have been the best decision for me to take for my trading for this particular trade. I feel that this is the best decision to take at that particular moment of time without any hindsight.
Yeah. No, I got you. There's plenty of times that I've done what I've just said. I've moved my stop loss. It's come tag my stop loss and then shot off again. So Ironside,
Yeah.
if you're doing it that by eyeballing your risk, then yeah, no, that's fine. But generally speaking, I've moved my stop loss. It doesn't happen all the time, but I have moved my stop loss to just over break even, and the damn thing's come back, tagged my stop loss, and then shot off again. So I'm like, "There, you've just done that. You've just done that to wind me up."
Exactly. There are two opposing views on break-evens. One is the view that Richard Wells has. When you're entering a trade at a good level, I think the markets have the tendency to go back to your level, which you deem to be a good level, and start gaining the momentum back. And the other perspective is that after a certain point of time, if the trade is coming back down to my break even, then there is a good possibility that it has lost its momentum, and it would be better for me to protect my capital by not taking a loss. Both are valid. I am on the camp where I want to protect my capital, and that is the reason I am okay getting stopped out at break even, and the result after, maybe it could be a full TP or maybe it could be a stop loss, is irrelevant to me because not completely irrelevant. I would journal it and see whether I'm placing my break evens at the correct at the right areas, the right times. But I would much rather prefer to not take a TP and get out at a break even if I were thinking that this trade has lost its momentum, because conviction in a trade is very important. Confidence in your trade is very important. That is the reason signal groups fail. Though the person who's giving signals might win 9 times out of 10, if the people who are following the signals are not having enough confidence in them, they might not stick to through the drawdown. They might not stick to the time where he's having a few losses at a row. That is the reason having confidence in the trade is very important. At this particular point of time, I no longer have confidence in the trade. So staying in this trade would be to my detriment, would be psychologically having a bad effect on me. Because if it were to take say stop loss, then I would think I knew I lost confidence in this trade. I should have gotten out. But if it went to take profit, then I would have reinforced the bad idea that it's okay of taking trades where you're not completely confident in. Both in the long term, I don't see having a good effect on my psychology.
So you've just took yourself out of that trade. I can see why. But now you've took yourself out of that trade. How would it affect your psychology now watching that trade play out and end
Uh,
up winning?
and on winning. So usually when I get out of break even, I journal the trade. I take an image and put it on a Notion on the Notion template, and I delete the PNL. So basically, I would do this. So now I clearly don't the I know that my SL was somewhere here, but and my TP was somewhere here, but I do not have a constant reminder that this could have hit your TP or this could have hit your stop loss. I do not have the constant reminder, and as soon as it is out of my charts, I tend to not give it a lot, not think about it as much. So now, as you if so, if I just hide my positions also, then I clearly, after some time, I might not be sure of where I've entered, what I was thinking the exit would be. So it would be out of my mind, and I would be thinking about the next trade. But since we are on stream, I think it is good for me to put on the PNL up for people to watch. But if I were to trade with when nobody's watching, I would have deleted all the drawings so that I start looking at the charts from a new perspective. I refresh the charts. I change time frames and things so that I come out of that perspective. I come out of that baggage that the previous trade was carrying on, and I look markets with a fresh eye. That is what I do.
No, that's good. That's good. That. So you're not looking for that constant reminder whether it would have actually have gone straight to TP or whether
Yes.
it had gone straight to profit. I suppose that's it. Once
Yes.
you've journaled it, forget about it and move on to the next, really, innit?
Yes. Because uh, like I was telling yesterday, it is quite often that we accept our profits. We quite often that we accept the green floating PNL. So if we are a floating of plus 100, we accept it. We think that this 100 is already in the account. The floating PNL of plus 100 is already in the account. And if we take a break even or stop loss, we might have the tendency to chase that 100 which was not really realized, but we also have the tendency to think that the unrealized losses that we have just do not exist. So if we are down, say $100, we are optimistic that it will come back. It will come back. This is not a realized loss. But how I think is it should be the opposite. The unrealized losses that you should in your head at least think that it has vanished in the and the unrealized profit. You should always think that it has not come into your account yet, so that your mind and your psychology stays healthy. Because if you are accepting your profits faster than your losses, what happens is the floating PNL of plus 2%, plus 1%, and going back to your break even or going back to your stop loss would give you the feeling that you have lost more than what you did. So say I was up 2% and now it hit my stop loss of 1%, negative 1%. Then in my mind, I would be thinking that I've lost negative 3%, negative 3%, because in my head, I have accepted the profit. But on the other hand, if I if I say the drawdown was 1% and it went to my profit of 1%, then it would be essentially a 2% move. It would essentially be a 2% move, but we all would think that it was just 1% gain, which is not something that is very healthy in my opinion.
No, for sure. And while we was looking at that trade, before you watching it bounce back up,
Right?
I've just
It
took
did bounce back up.
I've just took TP1 and I've got TP2 and TP3 to go. So
Wonderful.
I've just took profit on that one. Or at least the TPs just took the profit on that one. Hopefully it's going to actually bounce at that demand area that I'd already pre-marked out. So I'm hoping that demand area becomes weak now and it goes through and doesn't bounce. I've moved me stop loss a while ago to mitigate the risk. Stop loss was somewhere up here and I just creep it down. And as soon as it gets to TP2, I think, or somewhere around about there, I'll move it to just over break even. Normally, I'll move it to break even at TP1, but TP1 just doesn't seem viable on this trade to actually move to just over break even, just because it just might bounce back up slightly before coming back down, and it'll do exactly what I just said about talking through your trade. It'll tag my stop loss, which I'll still be in profit, so it won't really matter that much. But it'll tag my stop loss, and then it'll carry on down onto the trend that it's already in at the moment. But I'm hoping that the trend that it's in at the moment actually carries on and it starts to break this demand zone here. So that's what I'm looking for in this trade. Your trade, with it actually breaking yours and it started to go back up, would you actually think that that was a break and retest of the area that you marked out? So it's going to be continue going down, or do you reckon you would have actually have enhanced it your profit? Do you reckon this is like a little break and retest to the downside? It's just tanked
It's,
now, quietly.
it is possible that it this is a can be. test.
You actually lagging there a bit, Sam. I thought it was only me that sat there and buffered.
Yes, it is possible that it is a break and retest, but I am thinking, yeah, 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 exactly that.
Do you want to
Was,
restart, Sam?
uh,
Do you want to try a restart?
so
Can actually look at my chart while you actually.
as
All right. Well, Sam has a little restart to try and get his internet back up. I'll just walk you through what this is again. This is the second bot. This isn't the one that I had up yesterday. This is a new one, but the new one that I'm actually working on overnight didn't have any visuals, so it's kind of pointless even telling you that there's a bot even working. Really, to be honest with you on this, and for what it does, basically it's ATR based. So everything on it's ATR based. The stop loss is dynamic. The take profits are also dynamic, um, which is also linked to the amount of stakes that you actually stake. So I've only got 0.3 at the minute because it's only a small account. Mitigating my risk, it broke it up into 3 separate trades, which obviously now we know that each one is linked to a TP. And as soon as it hits that TP, it'll just start taking the profits. I'd have rather it have all been in one trade, but for some reason I've programmed it to start opening 3 at 3. So I'll have to look at that and find out why. I don't really mind it, but it's just room on the chart, so I can go like that and make the chart a little bit bigger. But it looks like it's actually looking at this demand zone that it's going to bounce. So I don't know whether I will end up getting out the trade like Sam did and then changing my bias, or just leaving it and letting it play out to see what it'll do, whether it's stop loss, whether it's my entry before coming back down. But it is kind of bullish in the normal run, and I'm only sort of scalping the inter trades. So bearing that in mind, I may even just get out the trades that I'm in and try and risk going long, but staying long. I might actually do that actually. Or shall I not? Chat, what shall I do? Shall I leave it? Or shall I trade 2 systems at the same time? Because this is it when you've got your swing trading strategies to your intraday trading strategies to your scalping strategies. Does anybody else have them sorts of strategies themselves, and how do they actually manage it when they actually see intraday trades playing out while they're scalping? Do you flip your bias straight away to the longer trade, or do you just see if whether the trade that you're in plays out? I don't know if Sam's coming back. Well, chat's busy. But what do you think? What systems do you actually use incorporating scalping, or does anybody not scalp? They just intraday trade and they don't even bother scalping. What sort of trading strategies do you use? I'm using 3 at the minute, and I get conflicted. I get conflicted mid trade, like now. It's actually a good bounce. It's a good bounce, but we're on a downtrend. Is it going to hold? That's all I'm thinking. Still in profit, unadjust. Looking at my other trades, not the ones opened. It is actually. I'm not even on the right one. Because on my second account, I'm actually in a NAS short. And that seems to be consolidating now too. So on my screens, I've got to remember which one I'm actually broadcasting, which is this one. And keeping an eye on my other terminal as well. But other than that, welcome back, Sam. You're still looking a bit peaky.
Carry on and give me 2 minutes and I'll join you right back.
Yeah, no, you're sounding alright at the minute, Sam.
Okay. All right then. Yeah. So catch up with the chat. Yep. The one I showed was a FX strategy I built and luckily got funded on Top Fund Trader, but they're not allowing copyright trading, so sucks a bit. Yeah, understandably. Fully. I have two funded. I have two funded with Apex, but yet to take a payout. The the aim is for max 20 accounts, with all of them being copied. Damn, that would be beautiful, Puli, if you achieve that. FX strategy built last year with 12 months and went live at start of this year. Hence, I have decided to isolate GJ from top one and start with another firm, giving 5R and other FX at 3R. Beautiful, Ambassador. Beautiful. The way you have backtested for an year and now you are having enough confidence to make money from the markets using that strategy that you use. That is a beautiful progression of your journey. Apex funded, I am treating as a personal account as they have 150 days inactivity rule. Other funded firms, future firms have 7 days inactivity, which I find silly. As long as they can make people trade more, overtrade, over risk, the future firms and any firm for that matter will be in profit. So if you think from their perspective, they are playing the smart game. Yeah, silly. The biggest concern I have found in trailing drawdown on the original Apex account. Yes, man, that is the trailing drawdown is something that is even that I particularly think is massive in terms of passing a futures account or trading a futures account. Because if the drawdown is trailing your equity highs, then you essentially have very less room for you to make errors, so you need to get a winner at some point of time constantly and not a lot of losers. Yeah, you cannot go on a prolonged losing streak in your future firms, can you? Truly, very true. I hate intraday trailing with Apex given my high RR rate has potential to mess up. I don't mind end of day trailing. Yes, and if it's intraday trailing, then damn, it is quite literally tracking your unrealized P&L highs, which, like I said earlier, if you're tracking, if you're realizing your unrealized profit and not realizing your unrealized loss, that that can quickly spiral down into very bad trading habits.
Have you still got any,
Uh,
Sam?
Bad trading habits.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of them. I'm trying to get rid of them. I still have tendency to revenge trades once a while. That is when I log out of all of the trading accounts that I have. Since the password is quite complicated for most of the trading accounts, I do not remember them as much, and that creates enough friction so that I do not trade them back. But I need to have such systems in place for me to get rid of them, because if I were just thinking, no, I would stop revenge trade and I would keep the account login. 10 times or 9 times out of 10, I would revenge trade. So I need to have those hard systems in place for to not have those bad habits looming around in my trading.
Yeah, revenge trading was one of my pet hates when I first started, and I still find myself trying to talk myself out of trades, thinking that I am now still revenge trading. Even when I'm just
Right.
taking another trade, generally I'm like, because I lost the last one, do I really want to be opening another one, or at least today anyway? But yeah, I do end up second guessing myself on the trades that I'm opening, and I'm always wondering whether I'm starting to revenge trade myself.
Yes. Unless trader says that I want to get a hyper growth account with the Fivers, but it's expensive, hence will wait for my first payout. Yeah, the hypergrowth accounts are quite expensive, but the advantage that a hypergrowth account gives you, that by the time that you pass your account, you have 50% of the 10% that you have gained to pass the account as your payout, and they also double the account size every 10%, which is exponential, quite literally. Doubling the account every single time that you reach 10% equity is exponentially increases your capital if you're consistent with it. But recently, Fivers have launched another one-step program called the Pro Growth, which is quite similar to hypergrowth with I think three or two changes. The first change being that the 3% daily pause on the hypergrowth is now 3% hard stop. It is not daily pause. It is a daily drawdown limit at 3%. And instead of doubling your account, they go on to the sequentially increasing your account size like they do for hyper growth on the pro growth account as well. These are quite cheap. They are currently at 30% discount also, so that is something that you can look for on Bias Trader.
I think he's doing right though,
And
looking out for his first payout there.
yeah, yeah, the first payout I could only imagine is so much more special. Pool is saying more unbiased trader, more are offering end of day, and now going to go with that option for my next purchase. I think they are talking about the futures firms. Yeah, a lot of future firms are offering end of day drawdown right now. I have been looking in future firms. I think Lucid is something which is good. Apex, I heard a lot of good things from it, but the rules are, I feel, a bit more difficult than other firms, what other firms offer. Lucid and Tradify and My Funded Futures as well. These are currently what I think are the best in the future space, but I personally did not trade for them, so do not take my word for it.
Did you say you was getting into indices though, Sam?
Yes, I am trading indices more like I I, for most part, have been one-dimensional trading only gold, but indices, just like gold, tend to move faster compared to forex pairs. So indices are something where I'm able to apply the skills I've learned from gold. Also, they translate really well. So indices and gold is something that I'm looking at are like my main pairs to trade, especially NAS and gold. And I prefer NAS a lot because if I were to isolate my trading, then I can isolate my trading to trade gold in the London session and NAS in the New York session. That it essentially segregates my trading into good chunks where I do not have to think a lot, where I do not have to stay on the charts for hours and hours. So these two pairs are my main pairs.
Nah, for sure, for sure. I tend to trade indices a little bit more now than Forex. I'm still trading
Yes.
Forex, but I realised the bot that I was actually working on, which was my main system, was kind of hit and miss on Forex. And for some reason, I matched it up against indices, and it's just 100 times better.
Works so much better.
It is. I built a bot for Forex, and it ended up working better for indices. So I've moved that bot onto trading indices, which is quite ironic actually
Yes.
because I tried at first to make a bot that worked um, on all symbols, but it wasn't having it. So I gave up. I gave up to the point of where this ain't working. You can't create a
Yes.
bot that works on all, and you can't create a bot that works on all of them. And I matched it up onto indices: UK 100, US 500, US 30, NAS, even Netflix and Nvidia and Tesla and everything like that on stocks.
Then
It lines up a hell
it's
of a lot.
always funny how markets work. It's always funny how markets work. You
No,
think that they're gonna do something and they do completely opposite.
yeah, I couldn't actually get it matching as well on Forex, and I was wondering what part of the system was broke. But it wasn't the system; it was just the market structure and the way that I had the rules and everything like that. The market structure was a little bit tighter than what it is on indices. Like you said, when indices seem to travel, they seem to travel far. That's why I'm trading them
Right.
in 45 minutes. So the last trade that I was in for nearly a week.
Damn, that is a long period of time to be in a single trade.
It
Talking about trades, this particular trade where I exited at break even seems to be the right decision since it started going lower and lower. There is still a possibility that it starts creeping back up and starts going back to my TP. But if you
you have to
like
share
I
your
said,
screen. Was you if you're
I'm
talking
not.
trade,
Oh no! I forgot to share my screen.
no
So
worries.
silly of me. Right. Yeah. So it seems to be a good decision that we stopped at a break even, but there's still a possibility that it might take profit. But like I said, in hindsight, we can all be millionaires. At this particular moment, I believe that I took the right decision, and that is all that matters. And uh, and if you
Unbi-
were to think of it,
Unbiased
especially in
traders
mechanical
talking to you.
systems. Oh,
Unbiased
right.
trader says, Sam, I like the hyper growth due to the doubling of the account size. I guess I'm getting greedy. Do you reckon he's getting greedy, or do you reckon he's just building his account? I reckon
To
he's
be honest, I
building.
don't think he's getting greedy because I think he's building his account since a lot of us have been stuck on the evaluation phase for so long that we almost feel like having a account size which is a bit higher could help us a lot more in our journey. Would help us say if I had a 100K account, I would have made 1% and left that account. All I want to make is 1%, which is essentially $800. Essentially $800 after the commission that Fiverr takes. So If you think about it, 1% of that is so much greater than a 1% on a $500 account or $10,000 account. So if you put that into that perspective, the freedom that a 10K or a 50K allows you is it just changes how you look at trading. It just changes how you view, because our baseline is here. Our baseline is here, and 100K is somewhere there currently. So even a 1% on a 100K right now would change a lot for us. That is the reason having a higher account size is something we all should aim for. And as we get better in our trading, the 100K will also seem to be just a normal account, just another account, just another Friday. And when we reach that level where we are comfortable with a 100K account, then we should start looking at having multiple accounts, managing multiple accounts, so that our capital grows. We should always be in that state where we are not completely uncomfortable trading something, and we are not completely comfortable and complacent trading something. We should always have that slight tug and pull, and finding that sweet spot and finding that Goldilocks location where you are not completely comfortable, but you're not scared that you are unable to trade properly. That finding that spot is really important, and that is something that a hyper growth account perfectly allows you to do. And hyper growth account doubling every 10% equity, reaching 10% equity is quite difficult. It's not that you can do it in a single day. It's not that not everybody can reach a 10% equity on every single account. So since you are able to consistently get to a 10% and then you are doubling your account, it is a good progression. It is definitely faster. It is definitely faster, but it is a great pace to have.
10% gain is
Yeah, 10% gain.
is a good pace as long as you can keep it up.
Yes.
That's excellent.
And the scaling that Fibers provides is one of the best in the industry, because no, I don't think any other firm provides scaling as consistently as Fibers provides, which also is their motto of giving of backing consistent traders, of backing good traders instead of one-time luck charmers.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my trade. I'm just looking at my trade still. Bobbing up and down in profit and loss at the minute. It's coming back to my entry. I was when you was restarting. I was thinking, do I want to change my bias because it was a nice little bounce from the demand area that I'd already drawn out. And I'm still thinking whether I get out or I just leave it to play out. I'm still thinking I should leave it to play out because we're still kind of in a downtrend. We're only
Right,
on.
but how I look at that particular chart is that I see a flag forming, right? I see a flag forming. That is the reason I would be considering in that if it breaks if it makes a change of character, then I I think that I will change my bias. Because if you think of it, currently I'm thinking that is Euro USD, right?
This is Euro. This is Euro USD. Yeah.
Yes. So if you look at it on a higher time frame, maybe 1 hour, then how I look at it is that it is a flag. Do I have a sketch? Yes, I do have a sketch. So it is almost like this, and then we are having like this. It is a flag. How I look at it, how if I am looking at price action solely, then this is a flag, and it will react at some demand zone and will start going higher. That is how I would look at the current price action to be. And seeing this, I will be looking for on some confluences. Is it reacting, or is it able to maintain its momentum? Because the candles are showing good momentum towards the upside, and they are also reacting to fair value gaps and bases and order blocks properly. So it might be a good time to shift your bias, but the trading is quite literally up to you. So this is my opinion. This is my opinion of how I am seeing the EU markets. It does not have to be true.
Yeah,
This is exactly how I'm looking at it.
you seen it like that. I've just drawn it out. I don't go by anything like that, so I don't necessarily draw
Right.
anything like that. But is that the flag you was on about?
Yeah, it is the bullish flag. So basically, what a bullish flag means is that just give me a
Thumbs up,
moment. I'll
head
explain the
down.
bullish flag for the audience also.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so basically, a bullish flag is a chart pattern. Is a famous chart pattern where on an upward trend, if this is a good example, on an upward trend, there is a good momentum towards the upside, and there is slow and gradual momentum towards the downside, and then we react to give a second leg, and then we react at a demand level for a second leg like this. That is basically a bullish flag. You can Google it and you'll find great examples of it, but it becomes quite difficult. But you need to develop the pattern recognition for you to be able to identify them in real markets. For me, on the 1 hour time frame, this looks like a bullish flag. There is good momentum towards upside, and then we slowly but gradually started going down, and now it is reacting of this demand zone for a second leg. That is how I am looking at. Because even if you look at the markets here, we wigged out this high. We wigged out this high. So I think that we took enough liquidity from there, and the demand zone, the reaction is good enough for it to start going higher. That is how I am looking at the markets. You might look at the markets differently, and that is totally fine.
yeah. I tend to not trade patterns. I do know them, and I do actually
Yes.
call some of them out, but I don't trade them. I don't trade patterns.
Yes.
I've tried doing that when I was trying to find a second system after my original. Now, my original, like I've always said, is support and resistance, and that's never. I can't say it's never failed me because I do lose on that. Everybody loses now and again, but let's just say it's one of them systems that it works for you. Do you know what I mean? It's what it is.
Yes.
It's not a first candle 9 o'clock London bell
Yeah.
opening
As
regime.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Fair value gap, this, that, and the other. But no, it's just basically support and resistance. It's hardly ever failed me, and I've been kind of profitable trading it. I've looked for other stuff while I was new, thinking, oh, there's another little shiny. How can I implement this into my trading? And patterns and all sorts of other stuff, EMAs, ribbons, and all stuff. That just never really worked for me, Sam. It was just
Yeah.
fall back to the original, fall back to the original
Support and
support
demand.
and resistance, and carry on with that. But
Yes.
I
Like
still
I
do like
said,
looking
like
at
I
them.
said earlier also.
I still
Like I
do like
said
looking.
earlier also. Wait a minute. Let me get my point through.
Go
Like
on.
I said earlier also, it is possible for true traders to buy and sell at the exact same price at the exact same time, and both might end up having a loss and both might end up having a profit based on the system that they trade, based on where the stop loss and take profit is. That is the reason there are multiple perspectives in the market, and no perspective is wrong or right. The only thing that matters is how you trade it. Do you trade it well? And like you say, the PNL tells the whole story.
Exactly. And
At least,
it's not
at
only
least
that,
the
Sam, it's
PNL tells
timing.
80% of the story. It is possible that you get some lucky trades in between, but tells 80% of the story. If that system works for you, it works for you. Do not need to change a bit.
Exactly, but it's not only that. When you're on about two people trading the same system, one winning and one losing, it's all to do with timing as well.
Yes,
Timing in
like it
timing in the
depends on
market.
where the stop loss is. It depends on where the stop loss is, where the take profit is. Is a say for example, a person were to buy somewhere over here, and if they had like this, sorry, if a person were to sell and they had a stop loss over here and a negative RR, say over here, they would have got it. They would have got it. And if a person somehow was able to understand that there's gonna be a big bullish candle coming up, and they had something like this at the same price level at the same time, they both have exited on a profit. But the RR, the take profit and the stop loss levels are different. That is the reason I was telling. A market has space. The market has space for different ideas, different perspectives, and no particular idea, no particular perspective is exactly wrong. They all have enough space to exist in the market.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know. Even traders stick to, like I've said, I've taken a 1-to-1, but there's a specific trader that I'm thinking about. He definitely sticks to a 1-to-1 because that's his system, and he is remarkably profitable for it.
Right.
So even at a
Oh,
1-to-1, but he trades the weekly and the daily, so it's a bigger
ah,
1-to-1.
okay.
It's a bigger
We
one
have
to one
a
than you get
new
on
viewer
Fiverr.
in the chat. Right, we have a new viewer in the chat, Zar Trader. Good morning, Zara Trader. Hope you are doing good. Thank you for loving the stream. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. We will be here from Monday to Friday, joined by other members also in the who are having quite a different journey. We will share great trades. Like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully, you can also join the Discord. The links in the description. We have great time there. The community is great. All right. Yeah. Let's catch up with the chat a bit. There are just two more chats there. You need 10% once a year in 8 years. I think you'll get to 4 million funding. Damn. Imagine 4 million funding. 4 million funding is how much is 1% in 4 million? Is it 40K? I think it's 40K. 1%, 4 million. Damn. It would be dream to trade such big size accounts. 20K to 4 million in 8 years is not bad. Just need to be super strict with your risk. Yes, it is not bad, but you should also think from the perspective of how much money you are able to take the payouts in, because at the end of the day, you want to take payouts. So though though you can keep the hyper growth for your idea of getting to the 4 million mark, which is great, which is great. All of us try to get to such levels of funding someday, but having consistent payouts, it might be from different accounts as well. I think that, in my perspective, is more important than chasing for the 4 million funding mark. Being able to take consistent payouts, maybe one payout per month. That is also great. That is also great.
Yeah, I just want to welcome Zartrader as well. Great to see new people in the stream. Like Sam said, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If the channel reaches, I'll tell you what, Sam. If the channel reaches 300 subs, I'll buy an 100k account and I'll trade it live on the stream. But
Oh, yeah. That would be a level up to the challenge that we're already doing. It
as
would be
well
lovely.
as well as that, yeah, yeah. I'll mix it up a bit. So I'll catch up on the 100 challenge, and I'll actually trade the 100,000 on here. But we've got to get 300 subscribers for me to buy the
Yeah.
100k
If you
account.
get 300 subscribers, then Evan will go from $1,000 to $10,000 live on stream.
Definitely, definitely. So there's a chat. There's a challenge for chat as well as me.
Right. So we are at the business end of the stream with 20 minutes remaining on the stream. If there's something that you want us to talk about, if you want some help in, maybe it is revenge trading or something, we might just give you some tips and tricks or some systems that might help you because we also have been in the same situations that you have been in. Right. The chat's open if you have something, or if you want us to pick up a pair and do our analysis on it, then we can give our perspective on it. I use EMAs as a crutch so that at viewing the markets, they help me in understanding markets better. So I can also give you a perspective on that. Even all is an expert in support and resistance, so he can give you perspective on that. Looking forward to your messages and chat also. All right.
Yeah, I'm just watching Man. Man's now in drawdown. Not by much, but it's in drawdown. It's probably going to hit the stop loss.
Right.
I'm going to let it do it.
Mm. Unbiased trader is telling that Sam, you're right. Hyper growth can't be your main account. You can get your payout from other accounts and aim for the stars later. Yes, yes. For a trader, one of the most important things is to survive to live another day. It is very important for us to save our capital and to survive to live another day. As long as we are able to survive in the markets, at some point in time, you would most probably end up profitable. In fact, I would actually say this that 95% of the people who are the losing traders, that is a common consensus that we all believe that 95% of the traders are unprofitable traders. I think they start uh, trading thinking that's a get rich quick scheme. They associate trading with all the shiny things, and they ignore all the discipline that goes in, ignore all the discipline and motivation and all the hardship that it takes for you, and especially the time it takes for you to turn from an unprofitable to a profitable trader. So accounting all that in the people who stick around, the people who stick around more often than not are profitable. That is what I believe. There are obviously some horror stories everywhere, but I think if you are able to understand the markets, if you are able to stick enough and persevere enough to build those habits that turn you profitable, more often than not, the systems are good enough, the risk management systems and the etc. are good enough that you start making profits at some point in time.
Yeah, what do you think the main problem with that is? Not necessarily.
I think the
Let's
main
say
problem
time
is
served traders, because even some time
yeah,
served traders have lost accounts. So let's say
is
new people. Is it because they haven't got a system? They're not managing the risk properly. They are
to
just
be honest,
trying to make a million overnight. What do you reckon the stats are on that?
I think for anybody, in all of the new traders out there, the main issue that they have is they're trying too hard because finding the profitable system is not really difficult in with the endless videos that we have there. There are many people who are sharing their systems, so generous of them, and it it is quite easy for people to find a system here. But the problem that they have is that they underestimate the amount of discipline and the amount of time it takes for a person to start making those profits. They want the first trade to be profitable with zero drawdown. They just do not want to see any loss whatsoever. And that kind of mindset pushes you back. And when they're trying so hard to make a profit, when they are relying completely on trading, where they want to make money so desperately, it does not work out that well. I personally have been in the same situation where I desperately wanted to make money, and it has never turned out to be good because trading is essentially a game of extreme patience. You need to be very patient with the markets, and whenever you see your setup, you need to you need to have the courage to execute at 100% of your capacity. And those are some skills that you you eventually take up, you eventually pick up. And that is the reason many people underestimate the amount of time it takes for them to turn profitable, and they want to get rich quickly. And those two are is a recipe for disaster. Combining having that desperation is will I don't think such desperation will ever lead to great profits unless you have luck of a lottery winner or something.
No, exactly. Unbiased traders come in and said, Evan, greed is the main cause of failure. I kind of agree with him on that one. It's wanting to turn a
Yes.
profit. It's wanting to turn a small account big fast, or even a
Yes.
big count even bigger fast. The only thing that you're going to do fast is probably lose it. And he says the second would be poor risk management. I actually agree with that. Both of them just don't mix. That's just like electric and water. And I'm looking at your chart, and because you draw some reasonably good support and resistance levels yourself, that break and retest actually worked out.
Yes. I was actually tempted to go short over here, but I was thinking that I am looking it from the same lens that I entered this within, because these are all structures that I drew while taking this trade. So I was afraid that I was looking it at the same lens from which I took the previous trade in. That's the reason I hesitated and I feared losing. That is the reason I did not take this trade. But if I were to take a trade over here, it would have easily gone it would have easily given me a 1 to 2.
Yeah,
That is something to keep in mind. uh, Apart from greed also, when you have learned enough from greed, there is another mind block that people face, that is fear. They are scared to lose their profits, they are scared to lose their accounts. That is the reason they dilly dally, they tiptoe around their accounts, and sometimes they miss perfect setups. That is also something that holds back a lot of traders. Fear and greed. Uh, to be able to execute without fear and without greed, that is one of the peaks that you can reach in trading.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you're a closet support and resistance trader, really. That's your strategy. I'm looking at how you do. I'm looking at how you're drawing them out now, and I'm like, yeah, you're secretly a support and resistance trader. That's what you are.
Like, like I was telling earlier, I the first ever strategy I learned was the EMA strategy, and ever since then, the EMAs have been working pretty well for me. The EMAs have always been working pretty well for me. But the issue that I have with the EMAs, like I said, is that they only work well in the trending markets. And if you were to look here on the 50 minutes, this was the time period where there was a trending leg. So here my strategy would have worked extremely well. If you were to see, we came back to the 20 EMA, the red EMA, and then we had an engulfing candle. So this would be my entry, and my stop would be somewhere here, and my take profit would be essentially a 1:2, which would have been very easy over here. And similarly, I had one trade over here, another trade over here, and those two would have been beautiful trades. But here, the previous London session, it was all which was all consolidation. It would have worked horribly, and that is the reason I am also using supply and demand, so that I do not become one dimensional. I do not want to be a one dimensional trader where if I do not find a trending market, I can't trade at all. This is a trending leg, and here my EMA strategy would have worked really well, where I wait for the price to come near one of these EMAs and an engulfing candle in the direction that I'm looking for, and enter at the close of that engulfing candle, stop loss above, and 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 works perfectly. Here it would have worked here, it would have worked here. it would have worked in trending markets. But since I have become dependent only on the trending markets, I have been doing extremely poorly on consolidating markets, which have become quite more often nowadays. That is the reason that support and resistance in such consolidating markets, especially on the lower time frames, has given me a new dimension from which I'm able to take trades from.
Yeah, unbiased traders saying, guys, I've tried various gold strategies and for some reason they're all failing. I don't understand why. Maybe you should give up. I don't think you should give up. I think you should trade my strategy, or at least try it and give it a little time to play
Right.
itself out. Which is support and resistance. As you're looking at Sam's chart now, basically that's all it is because he's actually doing it. But he's doing it live for you right now, and you can see how that was working out. I saw the break and resistance forming, especially at the levels that it was taking it at. But you're on the 1 minute there, right, you Sam?
Yes, I'm at the
Yeah,
1 minute. I am
can't
a
play
low
the
time
one
frame
minute.
trader.
You're good
Yeah.
at finding the levels on the 1 minute. So if unbiased trader wants to trade the 1 minute, then you're the guy that teaches him the support and resistance levels on the 1 minute. I stay well away
Right.
from the 1 minute. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, Polish being Poly. You're saying Sam's in the closet, get off. No, I'm not saying he's in the closet.
Um,
I'm
but
saying he's a
on
secret.
the
I'm saying he's a
on what
secret
unbiased
support and
trader was
resistance
telling,
trader.
right? On what unbiased trader was telling, that no particular strategy works really well on gold. From my experience, what I was able to understand is that gold has cycles. Gold has very fast cycles where one particular strategy works really well, and just after a few hours, that cycle changes and your strategy does not work that well. So on gold, it becomes really essential for you to understand how the markets are. It becomes really essential to understand the market conditions on gold and then adapt your strategy. So if I were to only trade my EMA strategy, then I would have to wait for the markets to be trending. I need the markets to be trending for my strategy to work. And if the markets are not trending, I should not take a trade. Similarly, you should understand where your strategy works really well. For me, the EMA strategy works really well in trending markets, which means I need to wait for gold to trend. I need to wait for the market conditions to be favorable for my strategy works.
I don't
Like
think that.
that,
Yeah, I mean, unbiased has come back saying that gold may be my minute 3 hour requirement may be an issue. I don't think that 3 hour would be your Achilles here. You're looking at Sam's map now because I think on Sam's chart you probably would have hit a 3 hour bar now.
yes. I think the primary issue unbiased trader, I would also give a bit of correlation to the market conditions presently. These are extraordinary times with wars going on, with Trump's tweet messing up the markets for days to come. With such uncertainty, the first quarter of this year has been extremely difficult in terms of trading conditions and the market conditions. So if we get normal times back, then maybe your strategy would work well over that period of time. But given how volatile the markets are currently, it becomes very important for us to assess the market conditions and understand if they're tradable or not. Many days right now are untradable. Like I think it was Monday on Nasdaq, it was untradable. The Monday price action on Nasdaq this week has been untradeable. But after that, it has been quite good for a trade or two every day in the New York session. So it currently, especially on gold, it becomes really important for us to analyze the market and understand the market conditions and trade accordingly. And overall, it becomes important for us to wait for understand how the markets are and whether you should take a trade or not. Because not participating in the markets is also a way in participating in the markets. It's a way to protect your capital. That is my suggestion. That's my understanding about gold. Gold just switches colors so often. It has mood swings. It is a toxic girlfriend that you should not go back to.
No, exactly. And Unbiased Trader is asking, what sort of R do you target? I mean, personally, I
I
don't have a specific R that I target. I have partials, which is R1, R2, R3, R4, until I actually run out of anything to take out of the trade left, and then I leave a runner. So I don't actually target a specific R, like I'm all out. I will actually just let it. I will actually just let it run. But I do like to, like I said to Sam earlier, I do like to still take some out my trade, and then trill my stop
yes.
loss. So I'm not necessarily trading for a specific R. I'm actually trading and seeing what the market will actually give me at the time. Whether that is a 1R, 2R, 4R. I think I've actually the biggest R I've actually had out the market. I think it's been about 21R. That's been a hell of a long
Yeah.
trade, but that's only been a runner. That's not actually been the full trade. Which, if it had been the full trade, that really would have
So
been
you
that.
would be
That would have,
rich.
yeah, that would have been a nice trade. But I do take stuff out the market as it's going down, just so I've actually got some going into the bank, and then I leave the runner. But it was the runner that actually reached about at least a 2021 hour runner, and I was quite
Right.
pleased. I was quite pleased with that anyway. So
I personally am a fan of 1 to 2. I think it is a perfect ratio of win rate and RR that I have because for I could recover two losses from one trade, which is great for my psychology, and the win rate is good enough so that I do not feel very bad. Yeah, RR for good, but I think gold really works well on two systems. One, whoa, what was that?
how would you do that?
I don't know. I think it is something, some gesture in on Mac which allows you to do that, but I'm not sure if I can replicate that. Oh, it came up again. Anyways, on the topic, like there are two systems which work really well on RR, especially on gold. One is that you can target level to level. So if I were to be on a 5 minute time frame, like unbiased trader says,
You're getting
having your stop loss, having your. Am I breaking up?
No, no, no. Unbiased traders just
Okay,
saying
okay.
you're getting hacked.
Yeah,
He's not getting
yeah.
hacked. But I know what he's
Okay.
saying now. He's on about the R for gold. No, I've not took a 21 hour on gold, but that's definitely not what I'm telling you. But if I was to trade gold, I would be looking possibly at a
So,
1 to 1 or a 1 to 2. I don't know about you, and I think that'd be max for me on gold.
right. So the
What?
two systems I was talking about, it could be level to level. So you put your stop loss above a resistance zone and your take profit below the demand zone that you're thinking that it will go up to. So in this particular case, if you were to take a trade here, then you would place your stop loss here and you would be targeting this level from where there might be a reaction. So you would target somewhere over here or somewhere over here. Here, the risk to reward is not fixed; it is variable. It depends on the levels and the entry points that you have. If I were to take a trade over here, then I can see that we have the reaction from this zone. So if I were to take, then I would put my stop loss over here, and I would be targeting these lows, which would be a 1 to 2.4 hour. So it is quite dynamic in the terms of risk to reward if you're trading levels to level. But if you are strictly looking for an RR, then having a fixed SL and a fixed TP could be something that you can explore. Because my bot, it has a fixed TP and a fixed RR, and with 500, say 500 pips as its stop loss and a fixed 1000 pips as its take profit. I think these two systems work really well on gold particularly. But but yeah, it requires a level of backtesting to be done on your end based on your strategy, whether these two systems work really well. Then, because on gold especially, knowing when to exit is the key. Knowing when to exit is the key.
Sorry, Scam, my screen just screamed at me. I think I've just hit stop loss.
Oh, yeah, like I was telling on EU, based on of how I was looking with all those patterns and support the way it was reacting of the support zone. I think from now on we can see some bullish bias on EU and GU. That is what I am thinking. If I were to see on UJ, yeah, UJ is still moving upwards, so there is still time for a complete shift, a complete shift in the biases, a complete shift in the way the markets are moving. But in an hour's time or two, we might possibly see a shift. That is my opinion.
Yeah, that definitely looks like it was a nice trade though. On the downside, you're drawing them levels out great. But when I said my screen just screamed at me, it was actually my ghost bot entering 3 more trades.
Okay. Damn. I think it's just biased in it.
Yeah, I just wondered what the hell was happening, but it cut the stop loss, and then it entered 3 more trades
Yes.
on the flip side. So we'll have to actually let this one play out and see what this one is. But I wanted this one to display, which I haven't actually got it even programmed into it yet. Like I said, I was caught out a
Yes.
little bit this morning. I already had that one loaded up because I was messing around with this one last night. But as you saw yesterday, when it was printing the risk to reward boxes on the levels and placing the stop loss below, I want that to actually display on this one too, so you can actually see what it's doing and when it's doing it. And I'm thinking about on the right hand side here, I'm thinking about having a display box, so that also tells you what the bot's thinking before it's actually doing it, and as it's lining up
Okay.
the trades, which helps me visually. I know what it's going to do. Could I tell you? Nah, not straight away. It'd be too long for me to tell you. But what it's doing at the minute, it's working fine. It's doing as it's supposed to. As soon as it broke, which I already had the TP at the break level, which I should have reduced it anyway, because I do actually reduce my loss as it's coming down. Because yesterday, when the trade was in profit, the stop loss was creeping up. It was creeping up. As soon as it gets to 1 hour, like I said, it jumps to just over break even. This is what this is supposed to do, but it's got a lot of programming to go into it just yet.
To be done.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've kind of bit off more than I can chew because I've got about 4 or 5 bots and they're all at different positions. My main bot is actually up and running now, and
Wonderful.
that's been running for weeks. But to be honest with you, that also still needs to be fine tuned and tweaked. But I've just left it. It's at that place now where I can just let it run and trust that it's not going to cripple my account. But that
Yes.
actually still needs work doing on it. I just ain't got round to doing it because that's gonna be big improvements. And at the minute, it's still trading for me, so I'm leaving that alone for
Right.
now.
Yeah.
So with
To
that,
see what happens to this trade, join us in Discord. The links in the description. do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you come into the Discord, you will see a load of perks. It would be definitely worth it. We'll be sharing trades, we'll be sharing tips and tricks. We'll be helping you in your trading journey. It is a great community, very friendly. I think it is worth joining in. And we are running out of time. Yeah. And Anbas says thank you guys.
Cheers, bud.
Good to see some down to earth host. Cheers, man.
No, it's good to
And
see
we will
everyone
be
in chat.
stopping this. Yes.
Definitely.
To find what happened to these trades, come back and join the Discord. And we'll see you back on Monday.
See you on Monday.